Zagreb is falling, Vienna is falling. There's no Crusader armies at home. And it's like they can't get across the sea.
Well, they're marching back as fast as they can through Crimea. We have the Hungarians and we have the Bohemians coming back as fast as they can. The Hungarians are still at Tech 8, as are the Austrians, so they would have to fight pretty hard to win that. The Bohemians could win out, but that's... Somebody saying what happened to the Crusade. Oh, it's not looking good for them. Austria are still staying good fight in Anatolia, as are Hungary. Looks like they're relying on Bohemia and half the Hungarian army. They underestimated the Ottomans. And there we go, Zagreb down. They gave up on the siege of Vienna for a bit, probably because they know that the Crusaders are back and they need to win the fight there. It's a thing of beauty.
This is brilliant.
Wiz is chiming in. The Crusades, against papal advice, decided to walk around the Black Sea.
Watch Constantinople. This is a complete, enormously fun one.
Oh boy.
Because,
oh boy. That's the 6 shock Ottoman general. I think we've got a wipe on our hands. Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Hungary is gonna feel that one for.
And they're trying to catch the papal army as well.
Couldn't the papal army have taught them to walk on water? Would have saved them a lot of God is on our side. All will be well, says Wiz. I'm not sure he got the message about the Hungarian army. Papal state doing a strategic fallback from Romania. Okay, the big fight between Ottomans and Bohemia. Bohemia is the one that does have tech parity, and they're rolling well. Unfortunately, it's just not enough. They're also sent packing by the Ottomans. Oh, that can't be good for the Crusaders. Hungary is in debt. Their manpower, yeah. Their treasury is falling. I think they're recruiting as best they can. But down go their forts again and again. We got rebels rising up in Bohemia as well. Did Kaiser Rehot join in as the Ottomans? The Ottomans aren't even letting the Serbs have any respite here, taking care of the Serbian rising up there as well. Okay, Genoa's bringing the fight. So there we go. Genoa can turn the war around. That said, there's a lot of lost wars. If they want to turn around that -40 war score from battles, they need to fight a lot of battles, and they need to win those battles. The Ottomans are offering peace to Hungary, where Hungary has to pay the Ottomans. Hungary's own war score is actually alright. It's +14, it seems. Must be from their own occupations.
If I were Hungary, I would peace out now.
Well, they managed to get their capital back, but they still have Zagreb they need to take. And also, where's the Ottoman army at this point?
Which one?
Yeah, they have a few, don't they? He's doing his sieges. I mean, that's what the Ottomans are. Well, the Ottomans are good at sieging and at fighting. Their tech is good and their siege ability is otherworldly. Yeah, this war started in 1500. Precisely 15th of February 1500. It's 6 years later, and the Ottomans are, they're winning.
Oh, now we have a battle in Somachi.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, not the best led Bohemian army. Well, they got four shock. But the Ottomans have 6 shock and just a lot more fight in them. That's another one for the war score from battles. Ooh. These players need to organize. They need to get their armies fighting together as one. whereas they're currently still split up. The Austrian army isn't helping at all because they're busy over in Georgia and Anatolia.
They all left Anatolia, and there's Ottoman armies fighting in Anatolia.
Yeah, and the Ottomans can de-siege that land a whole lot faster than they spent sieging it up too. Molester in chat is saying that Tunis must be laughing. I reckon they are. I reckon that Tunis is having a great time. They scored Alexandria and the whole area of whatever that area is for themselves, and the Crusaders burn for it. Meanwhile, the Knights are still sitting back. They're not getting involved. Okay, history may be repeating itself. Hungarians are on Constantinople, and the Ottomans are making a march, which I have a suspicion is towards Constantinople. I think we're... Oh, okay, the Hungarians have decided against it. Oh, this is brutal for the Crusaders.
We're seeing the elimination of the Palatinate. Savoy and Switzerland is destroying.
So whilst the Eastern powers are busy doing a crusade somehow, Starnan is taking the initiative to take out the Palatinate. The Palatinate...
Oh, there's a battle in Ottomans are fighting on Bulgaria.
Yeah,
and crushing the Austrians.
Oh, wow. The Austrians try to bring the fight, and they are also sent home. The Austrians... I thought they were close to Tech 9. Same with the Hungarians. Where'd all their mill go? I thought they had military points for that. Perhaps they recklessly spent it on something else while the Ottomans continue to decimate the Crusaders and all the while build up that war score. In fact, they've got 25 war score from the war goal of showing superiority and 40 from battles. So yes, the Ottomans are winning. Hungary could peace out, but that would leave their fellow Crusaders high and dry.
Hungary's weak. They only had 24k troops in the field left. Bohemia, 30k something.
Yeah, and a little bit of manpower. Austria still have manpower, but they evidently can't fight to save their lives.
25k troops. Ottomans, they have 60k troops and manpower.
Yeah, the Ottomans still have manpower. They have a few loans, but that's just a flesh wound. Kaiser Johann is claiming that he's cleaning things up. He hasn't
Castile is colonized nicely. Morocco has Guyana.
Yeah, there we go. The Moroccan colonies continue on nicely, and I wonder if Morocco and Castile have spoken about this. They were allied early on, but they're not allied now. No, they weren't allied early on. I'm making a mistake there. It was Portugal that they had. Portugal and Aragon. Well, they should probably talk about that. Otherwise, Castile will probably bring a heavy hammer down. Okay, another big battle by Constantinople. Seems like the Crusaders are pouring everything in against the Ottomans. And it might just be enough. If they throw enough bodies into the meat grinder, they may be able to dislodge that Ottoman stack. But they also might not. The Ottomans are cleaning up. Oh, they just sent the Ottomans packing through sheer weight of numbers. But the Ottomans have more troops coming in. And they're not giving up. Oh my days, the Ottomans. They've got a fresh stack coming in against all those that were badly beaten.
They retreated with that one.
Yeah, they retreated, but they didn't take significant losses out of that, whereas the Crusaders lost so much. I reckon that the Ottomans are going to bring their army together, de-siege that province, and then go on the rampage again. Constantinople is not going to fall to the Hungarians here. And we're still in the age of discovery, so the Ottomans can blitz through that siege. On paper, that was a victory for the Crusaders, but really, they're still so deep in wars that they're not winning the war score from battle. Okay, the Ottomans...
There's a colonial nation now. Portuguese Brazil.
There we go. That should add to the muscle of Portugal a wee bit. Are they going to continue colonizing there? Looks like they are. They're probably going to want to get the best and richest parts of the coastline before focusing elsewhere.
and they're getting the colonialism spread from in the institution.
Yeah, they need to get colonialism since it's trapped up north in the frozen wastelands. Denmark of all countries having colonialism to themselves. What a world we live in. Alright, looks like the Ottomans are cleaning up their rebel problem, but then... Oh man, Constantinople's going to hold out for years. He wants to take Halab back. We'll see what these Crusaders can do. They must all be getting pretty tired of this war. Hungary's enjoying 7 war exhaustion right now. Austria's got about 4, another 3 for Bohemia.
Well, Ottoman war exhaustion is not a joke either.
What do they got? Oh yeah, that's pretty huge. But it's a defensive war for them, so their core Anatolian lands are very unlikely to rise up.
Yeah.
And if they have uprisings in the Balkans, well, that's just something the Crusaders have to deal with, not the Ottomans. So they have a lot of advantages working for them here. They have Armenians sieging that fort that the Hungarians took, so if the Ottomans bring their troops back to Constantinople and march them across, then the Crusaders are going to be smashed there. French Paradox saying we're getting flashbacks from Varna. Okay, what's going on in France? We're being told they're heretics. Check the religious map mode. It looks like France has decided to convert. They're turning their back on the Pope.
Sweden, Danzig, Brandenburg, Saxony, and France are...
Yeah, I think Wiz has a lot of work on his hands if he needs to convince these people to come back to the fold. They are but lost lambs. Ooh, have you seen that Ottoman war score? They got 58% war score on the Crusaders.
It's just insane.
Yeah, it looks like they've chosen to blow the walls down on Constantinople. Is it going to be enough? I'm not sure if that's where the Ottomans are going to try to relieve the situation.
No, but they're doing something else. This is going to be fun. I'm not going to spoil it for the stream snipers.
Well, Hungary don't like being there anymore. They're actually marching away from Constantinople. They don't want to risk it, but with... Oh, and the Bohemians are pulling back as well. That could be risky. That could be just a little bit risky.
Oh, there's an Ottoman.
The Ottomans are coming in. The Ottomans split up there, so they might have the... they might get destroyed. They're heavily outnumbered. Yeah, the Ottomans are pulling back from that one. Okay, I see why Hungary came back there. Have noble rebels, not to mention no manpower. People are asking about the English colonies. For some unknown reason, they got Reykjavik in Iceland. Oh, probably because the Dutch used that Iceland province to springboard their way over to North America. How about that?
And Scotland has not reached the Caribbean.
Ah, they're probably looking for Panama.
But Brittany has colonized.
Brittany, aka P-Dog. I actually forgot it was a player going on there. They've been playing a silent game for a bit. But they have exploration, they have expansion, and they have, there we go, their own colony at St. Martin.
Yeah.
Okay, the Ottomans are consolidating their forces, and I think they are on the attack now. And if they bring this attack... oh, this could be a bad time for Austrians. And Austria did not get the siege. Oh boy. If the Ottomans commit to it, big fight. Okay, but the Papal State and Bohemians, they were able to scare them off for a bit. Okay, a small relief for the Crusaders. It's a new age. An age where the Ottomans do not have their outrageous advantage on sieging. However, they are... they're keeping the Crusaders on their toes.
Because they still have a golden era.
They do. Alright, new age, new abilities, new things to get. Hungary is actually winning out early in this because they've unified their own culture. Otherwise, though, if they persist here, Constantinople could fall. Yeah, they're keeping it well protected now, which is a good call. And tech-wise, Austria still don't have Tech 9. I think that's why the Ottoman keep hesitating there. Okay, the Ottomans keep trying to snipe Constantinople, but there we go. Constantinople is firmly in Austrian hands.
Now the Crusades have a fleet advantage. The Knights have 33 ships.
Yeah, there we go. If they consolidate and fight together with their ships, they should be able to have free passage across the Sea of Marmara. But they're marching, or are they going to try to march through here? No, not until they get their boats in. The Ottomans are still winning this war, though. And this has dragged down the Eastern hordes for a decade so far. I think Brandenburg's probably feeling quite clever about not getting involved, because Brandenburg's free to, well, do whatever they want and not be dragged down by it. The Palatinate are still around. There were only 2 provinces lost to the Swiss here. 19 development worth of land, actually. I imagine Switzerland just doesn't want to afford too much aggressive expansion because they're riding 50 with a lot of countries. No coalition yet. Oh, the Crusaders really need to organize together, or perhaps what they really need are the Knights. They need the Knights to join in the fight. I'm left wondering what the crusade is going to be for, though. Right? They don't have the war score to demand anything. In fact, they would have to offer stuff up if they wanted. Oh, they could. Hungary could squeeze out a white peace, but Austria, as the war leader, would need to give up land. To add to that, the Ottoman ruler is a fierce negotiator. He won't take an easy peace. This is just dragging the East down quite a lot in terms of all of the monarch points invested and everything. Not being able to keep up in tech, keeping their armies and treasuries bust.
I mean, when they actually win this war, they will be able to get some territory, but this is going to take years.
Yeah, years even from now. The chat is calling upon Duplo to bring his ships into play. I know you're checking it out, Duplo. Will you rise up to their expectations? The Ottoman army still has manpower. Then again, so do the Austrians, but the Austrians are still on Tech 8. No, they could finally get Tech 9. That would be very wise of them.
The Knights are losing money badly for the fleet.
Yeah, hugely. What's fleet maintenance is almost 10 ducats a month. They should really get subsidized by one of the other players. So there's one nation that this war is particularly bad news for, and that is Genoa. Genoa is being sieged up by the Ottomans, and if they take Azov, which they are about to, they might just try to force Genoa out of here.
Well, the Genoa still have Genoa. Or Albaga.
Yeah, they lost Genoa a while ago, but they have Albenga, that lesser-known Italian coastal province. But the Crusaders can't win this just by holding on to these forts and stuff. They need to win the battles. Tunis did not expect the war, quickly made peaceful motions to the Crusaders and walked away as soon as possible. It went very well in the end. That's marketing yourself just right. Okay, there's opportunities for the Crusaders to win some battles now with the Ottomans coming into their home territory. Far better than taking the fights in Ottoman land, but they still need to win the battles. Tech should be even. I don't think the Ottomans are mad lads enough to have Tech 10. They don't, and Tech 10 isn't a huge step up.
We're gonna have... No.
Something could be happening in the north.
Yeah.
The Pope's on the rampage. The Ottomans are going down to Bender. The Ottomans are going to attack Hungary. We have the Papal States coming in as reinforcements. No other reinforcements. And the Ottomans, do they still have that tech shock 6? They do have that 6 shock general.
It's a slaughter.
They're never going to get that war score from battles at this rate. It's going to be very difficult to get the war score they need to piece out as they want.
Yeah, that's like lol.
You said like a decade ago, Hungary should separate peace out. If they'd separate peaced out, they could have rejoined the war by now.
Yeah, I mean, they had the war score is like plus 40 from battles from the Ottomans, plus 25 for winning battles in the war score. It's like doesn't matter how much they occupy. It's like minus 65 years. They need to basically occupy all of Ottomans, and that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, no. They'd need to wipe out the Ottoman army, and they've had significant difficulty doing that so far. And siege up everything. The Ottomans have quite a lot of forts over there. And they still can't freely move between the between Anatolia and Greece. This one smug Ottoman lightship prevents all that movement, and if Duplo would just bring his
we have
galleys
a player
in play.
war.
Oh, that we do.
It's Sweden, Saxony.
Oh wow, Danzig.
And Brandenburg on one side, and Danzig.
Poor Danzig. Denmark said no. AI Muscovy said no. And here I thought Danzig was working in cahoots with Sweden, but evidently not. Well, this does not look good for Danzig. I'm not surprised though, Brandenburg needs to expand somewhere. Grugi says poor Danzig. Well, maybe you could help Danzig. I wonder if there was any kind of ultimatum about this fight. Still though, the Danes dropping them? That is rough. And you know, Denmark and Sweden were meant to be best of buddies. Denmark now has an enemy in Sweden. I think Sweden's allegiances have shifted.
I think so.
And to think Denmark was... Denmark held back and let Sweden take that Norwegian land. Oh dear. Well, the Danzigs put up a good fight, but it's just not good enough. We got sad music playing even, just in time for Clausewitz is Cool playing in Danzig. Yeah, a lot of people are kind of elevating Brandenburg here. Brandenburg actually have Brandenburg ideas. If they want Prussian ideas, they'll have to go full Prussia.
Then they have to take Königsberg.
That's a way to go, but I reckon they're going to take as much as they can here. There's no reason not to.
They need admin tech 10 and they need Königsberg, and then they can become Prussia.
That puts a big target on your back, but
They are admin tech 8.
I think Brandenburg are big enough to handle that.
If I'm with Sweden, I would go like, yeah, you can take everything south of Lithuania, everything north is mine.
Yeah, they should stake their claim in that as soon as they can. Sweden has the ability to take quite a lot of land there, and that means Denmark's in grave trouble. They're out of friends. All they have is Lübeck. Not that there'll be many tears shed over the fate of Denmark in this office, I'm sure, but they need to think up a plan and think it up fast.
Okay, so let's see. The Ottoman War is still ongoing.
That was a lot of nations to fight against Danzig. I'm surprised they didn't just leave it to a gentlemanly fight between Sweden and Danzig, because Sweden's the one that declared this war. Let's see, the Swedish conquest of Livland.
Well, it's Jacob. Jacob always likes to fight a war.
Oh no, the Knights' fleet! They spent so much time and money, and it just got walloped by the Ottomans.
And it's hitting in the harbor.
Well, that swiftly reduced his galley numbers. Oh, that hurt. That hurt in a deep level.
Well, they're not losing that much money per...
Yeah, financially, they're better off now. Okay, this is just a big stalemate, though. They can't dislodge the fleet, so they can't go into Anatolia. Anytime they try to go there, they either lose control of the Balkans or they get wiped down by Ottoman armies. What are they to do?
Oh, they need to fight a good fight.
The Ottomans
Or
still
yes.
have an army. The Ottomans, however, are drowning in debt and war exhaustion and such, so maybe they're holding out for that. But I wouldn't count on it.
No, the AI is never gonna give up this war when they have this war score.
Yeah, at best they could separate piece the other belligerents, but that would just leave Austria on their own. Is it time for Hungary to give up Austria and turn sides and join the AI Ottomans? Plenty of Austrian land to be claimed.
And Hungary is losing a lot of manpower and fight on the large noble uprising in Transylvania.
Just continuing to burn them. They don't have manpower. The army that they have there has only 1,600 infantry out of their 21,000. So it's not a good day for them. The Ottomans, I reckon, are coming in to snipe those... oh, well, no, the Ottomans are going to crush the Austrians. Ottomans against Austrians just by Tolku. Well, back go the Austrians.
This is beautiful.
Depends who you ask, but if you ask me, I'd say it is.
As a developer, I'm always cheering for the AI against a lot of...
Yeah, the Ottomans have done a stellar job in this one. And they were outnumbered massively. And they still are outnumbered, just not so massively.
I don't understand why they started a crusade without naval supremacy, or at least some sort of...
Yeah, Hungary, Genoa, Austria, the Knights, they all could have thrown in, say, 20 galleys each. Okay, oh, of course the Pope is involved, and the Pope is bringing in... Is this the Pope? It's the Pope and the Knights. They're trying to destroy the Ottoman fleet, and they've made some headway. There we go, they got naval superiority at long last. They're going to move over, try their luck with the Sea of Maramos. Hopefully they fight together, because it... Okay, yeah, they've got it. And they're routing the Ottoman army. There we go, things finally turning around for the Crusaders. What's left of the Crusaders? That... If Hungary just had a massive uprising of rebels right now, they would have nothing to throw at it. And they've finally turned around war score from battles. It's now only 31 instead of 40 against them. This is gonna sting. And I mean, these are good players involved in the war, right? We have the French paradox. We got Wiz himself.
Oh, while we're looking at that one, because this is a foregone conclusion, they're gone. A lot of nations have gotten victory cards now. France has it on Burgundy, and Burgundy has on England, and England has on Burgundy. So, I don't know.
They're going to have to infight a bit.
Well, I think France and England would probably do a good idea to combine and destroy Burgundy. Portugal has on South Spain.
Ah, but Portugal wanted Spain dead early on anyway.
Austria needs a province from Hungary. And
Hungary needs it out of Bohemia.
Yeah, and Bohemia needs of Austria. So there's a lot of potential infighting there.
Well, that's if they want to win. Actually, we can take a quick gander at how the scores are looking. As expected, Castile dominating. They've got an extra 1,000 from their victory card, and they gain faster than everybody else because they took Valencia from Aragon. So a bit of early aggression has given Castile a step up. So they're the front runner. That's Sir Van Cour right there.
Yeah, England is doing good. Hungary is doing good. The best admin nation is England, of the players. Dip is Portugal, England, Hungary. Male, Hungary, England, Castile. I'm saying that Hungary's been doing pretty well so far.
How Hungary has the military one when they don't really have much of an army is fascinating. It's just an army of terracotta soldiers right now.
Yeah, the Crusaders won. It's just mopping up. No, shit. The Ottoman armies are in Europe still.
Yep, they're still there. But I reckon they've got the Ottomans on the back foot now. The Ottomans still number so many. And this is still exhausting them. They have to clean up.
Hungary has no armies left. They only have like 10k and no reserves.
Yeah.
The Ottomans still have like 60k.
The Ottomans could march in and wipe out the last of the Hungarians there. And in fact, that might be what they're doing right now. They're going down to Philippe. And they're marching in. I think this could be the eradication of the Hungarian army if Austria can't get back and save them in time.
Yeah, this looks bad. They're trying to run away.
Yeah, they ran away just in time. That 4 maneuver paying off. Probably wants to reconvene with the Austrian armies. Kaiser Johann. I want to have a quick look over, see what's happening in Central America. Might not look all that impressive in terms of landmass, but what you have to do in Central America is gain subjects so you can pass your religious reforms. And he went for the discipline straight up. He's going to get his subjects back and take the rest. The more you proceed, the easier it gets.
Slightly Doom is a little bit too high. You need to sacrifice someone.
Of course, your subject heirs and rulers. Okay, poor Danzig, but they've mustered everything they can and they're marching in with it. I think they want to try and take on the enemies individually. They're going for Brandenburg. He's marching in everything he's got, trying to dislodge the invasion. I don't think it'll be enough though. Really don't think it'll be enough. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately for Danzig, they don't have what it takes to take on Brunswick and Brandenburg here.
Oh, and Austria and Hungary is winning a battle in Macedonia.
Winning the battle.
Crushing and
even though they've got the terrain disadvantage and a crossing. There we go. They need to win the fights like that to turn around the war score from battles, because that is the major thing that is slaughtering them in terms of war score. But they also have to deal with the rebels, right? We've got 50,000 rebels by Constantinople and Edirne. And that's going to be expensive on their manpower to deal with the Ottoman rebels. So if they're going for the full 100%, it's a large commitment. They've been in this war for 15 years. And let's take a look at the devastation. Oh, it's huge in Greece.
I think we're seeing a stack wipe in... yeah, we saw an Ottoman army getting stack wiped in... or Serbia, or whatever. Bosnia.
One of Greater Serbian provinces. And that helps turn around the war score from battles. They're now only losing 17 war score from it. If they can tip it to fewer than 10 war score lost from it, they will be able to stop hemorrhaging war score.
We have a player war. Sorry, Joe, you're getting...
Yeah. Yao did not expand aggressively or indeed at all. And that means that Benin is coming in. But I think it's just because they're allied with somebody. Yeah, it's because they're allied with Katsina. So it might be that Yao is spared. But they're just going to die if they stagnate over there.
Oh, yeah. We have Utrecht in Massachusetts. England is in Newfoundland.
Yeah, we should take a look at the New World here. We'll get it on stream. Couple of provinces from England over in the far north. Utrecht are still there. In fact, they've finished off their colony and are working their way down. It could get real messy around here. You got the
Bahamas.
English and the Dutch.
It's the worst nightmare for a Scotsman.
Where am I looking at?
Bahamas.
Where are they?
North of Cuba, east of Florida. Huge island chain. It's a Scottish colony. It's warm, hot, and nice and friendly.
Oh dear.
It's everything that's not Scottish.
Yeah, why are they not taking Panama? That's where they should be.
I thought it was Darien, but...
Yeah.
Or maybe
they missed shot. I'm sure they wanted the Panama.
And Castile has landed in bordering Maya now. In Trujillo.
I'm sure it's just to help the Kaiser, not to snuff him out before he becomes a threat.
Portugal is exploring lots.
I was looking at the Bahamas thinking, why do I think this is Turks Islands? And that's because Turks Islands is right next to it. Yeah, Portugal have gone all the way around. They wouldn't be too far away from a circumnavigation at this point. Drink in the prestige. Not that they're short on it.
Well, poor Joe, they're getting eradicated. Well, I don't know what we can say, but at least Ottomans put up a good fight, and we had an entertaining war. But
the Ottomans put up a great fight for 15 years, but in the end they were fighting against several nations, each with their own armies and manpower pools. So fair play for the Crusaders for sticking through it, but what a costly war. Think of all the things you can do inside 15 years in the game, and they spent it all just burning manpower, money, war exhaustion, attrition, everything on this war. And it's not over yet. In fact, they're not even winning the war yet. They have -4 war score. They need to win a few more battles, get that war score from battles a bit above -10. So then they'll actually stop losing that 25 war score. Ooh. Oh, and a lesson has been learnt by the Hungarians here, as pointed out in chat. They have fortified Pest.
Oh yeah, it was an open heartland.
Yeah, but now the Ottomans would have to siege that down, and on top of that, the Ottomans don't have their guns of Urban to rip and tear walls down anymore. So yeah, the Ottomans definitely on the back foot. They got rebels as well. French Paradox wants to buy up some colonialism. Apparently he's got the dosh. Well, there's a nice thing about Austria and Bohemia. They didn't have to suffer any devastation through this war.
It's only present in Portugal, in Scotland and Denmark at the moment. And spreading into Morocco and Castile and Britain.
Yeah, it's going to be a slow burner of an institution here. Have Denmark even embraced it yet? No. Probably just waiting for it to spread. They're probably in no hurry. Bohemia took a not-so-subtle chunk out of Danzig there. And between them, this Eastern Horde is going to be a very powerful alliance, especially now that Sweden's dipping their toes into it. More like a Eastern Wall. I wonder if France, Castile, and Burgundy are going to be doing anything about that.
I mean, France is not going to do anything. We know that.
They're certainly not up to much, although they're cleaving apart the Dutch right now. Oh, it's the Dutch War for Independence.
And
As
we're
if.
seeing a huge war for Kaiser.
Yeah,
He's fighting for the entire...
Yeah, Kaiser's just going to fight everyone. He just wants all of his subjects, of course, so he will take the fight anywhere and everywhere. He has military tech advantage over many of them. But there's the thing, the Kaiser knows how to fight. His army's well prepared as well. Well, he knows he's on a timer, especially now that the Castilians have arrived. If I were in Castile's shoes, I would not allow a strong Central American power to evolve. There we go. For the first time in a long time, the Crusade has positive war score. 1%. And they must be treasuring that percentage. I haven't taken a look down in Central Africa for a while, but it's almost all taken over between Benin and Timbuktu now. Mali's on their death throes. They'll survive, if you can call it surviving. They're too big to beat in one go. I think Timbuktu has the better deal out of this partition, though. Those Malian lands are just better.
Yeah, that's true.
Then again...
Oh, there's a war with the Netherlands.
Yeah,
Someone formed a Netherlands.
I think it's just the AI working on their independence. Not very well at it, though, because Burgundy ate it all up directly. That seems a bit extreme. Did they suffer in turn? Oh, dear. I hope they don't get coalitioned for that.
There's a Dutch rebellion. I mean, who's going to join the coalition? It's like...
Yeah, it's just players right now, pretty much. Lucky for Burgundy.
Except their neighbors, Flanders and Brabant, and that are their junior partners.
Yeah, he's trying to integrate one of them right now, actually. Yeah, Flanders is great land, so no... Well, it's all great land. Things you own the greater Dutch lands, and you own endless money. Who actually has the big money right now? Oh, hang on, they're fighting against the Ottomans once again. Desperately trying to get that war score up. And succeeding at it at long last. Well.
Press F for Frederick Lea. Joe is gone.
They really got wiped off the map? Oh, wow, okay. Cannon Bornu has gobbled them up in one shot. And Cannon Bornu is subject to Benin. I see it all now. Not even desiring independence. Daniel's claiming his first kill. He now has a 1-to-1 kill-death ratio.
It's 5 o'clock, so I think the session is over.
Where in the world did the time go?
I don't know.
It just kind of disappeared thanks to the Crusade. Holy moly. I don't know what I was expecting from this session, but it wasn't that.
Hello.
Welcome, Loic.
Everything went according to plan.
I'm glad to hear that. It was a very elaborate plan.
Yeah, it was a very... No, I mean, I think the important thing in Crusades is really the friends you make along the way. It doesn't really matter like what objective you actually seize, what army you beat. You're there for friendship and Catholicism on the side, obviously. But no, we try to take various routes to solve a fleet problem when attacking the Ottomans. Maybe going with the Crusade CB was a bit too topical and not efficient enough. It took us 16 years in game to get that war score into the positive, but at least we're finishing.
You got there in the end, though. Lesser men would have given up along the way.
Oh, I haven't checked how many people have died in this like needless crusade.
On your side, 363,000 troops, of which you are the largest contributor by far.
It's probably because I started by assaulting a fort and sacrificing 15,000 men just to get a foothold in Asia Minor that was destroyed literally 2 years later.
I saw that one.
Nah, but well, I mean, it's a direct ticket to heaven if we were to trust the Pope. So I guess there is no regret there.
All right, welcome,
Starnan. Everyone in.
Starnan, welcome.
Hello. I'm Starnan, Switzerland. I said I was told there will be chaos here, but there's not a lot of chaos.
Everyone's very well behaved.
I'll give it time. I want to say that Savoy has been very trustworthy this campaign.
No, he
That's
hasn't.
nice.
Somebody has to say that. You're the first.
Yeah, and it felt like there's a lot of alliances right now in Europe. So trying to avoid making too large boxes this time around, which has been going quite nicely. Let's see if it keeps on doing that. Like I got a lot of threats when I attacked Palatinate, so that was kind of hilarious. But then no one joined. No one joined the war, and then he got attacked by AI, and no one joined again. So that was a bit weird.
Well, it worked out for you. You struck out north because it's hard to get much swinging room as Switzerland here.
Yeah, I was boxed in and had nowhere to go.
So what are you gonna do now that after Palatinate? Because you are surrounded.
Yeah, now I can start renting out condottieri. Like look at those drilled armies. They're ready to be hired to the highest bidder.
Oh damn!
So
Do you have boats to send to the Americans? I have lots of gold if you want.
what is boats? I'm still in last version.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Hold on, I'm about to get some conquistadors. What's this about the Aztecs having gold?
Oh, welcome Scotland.
Well,
Oh, thank you. Yes, Ophalove here, Scotland.
What the hell borders?
They're beautiful borders, firstly. My favorite thing about them is that not all of them are mine. As you'll note, Utrecht is right there in the middle of it all, but we have almost the same color, so it works.
I would like to inquire about your strategy of looking like Castile whilst you expand into Africa.
Yeah, I'm safe. It's fine. It's Castile. They're not going to mess with Castile, right?
Oh, well, congratulations on a victory over Norway. I was expecting you would get involved in Norwegian's core heartlands, but I suppose that was too risky with the turbulent times in Nordic land.
No, it's not about it taking over Norway. It's those islands off to the west. I heard that there's some exciting stuff further west, and I just need to be able to leapfrog there. And James in particular. Shout out to James.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi, James. He's made a bold enterprise of this as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, how does it feel being responsible for Dutch America? Because I feel it's a lot of people's nightmares.
It feels good, you know? It feels like the way things should be.
So what is the Dutch plan here? What are you going for? You are spamming those colonies. You're obviously trying to grab the rich parts of the coastline here. What can people expect to see in 50 years' time?
People can expect to see something of an exodus from the chaos of the mainland. We have determined that people in Europe have learned their lesson about Jan Hus, and we need to spread his good message to the people of the New World.
So you're feeling perhaps that with this whole new Protestant rift as well, your time is done and you need to go and educate those in a new faraway land.
Yes, my work in Europe is done.
Do you have any attachments to the political goings-on back in Mother Europa?
I just hope that no one attacks me while I get ready to leave.
Yes, well, with Burgundy and Brunswick both encircling you, I can imagine that would be a significant threat. Have you spoken much to either country?
I've spoken a lot to both countries, and they both want a lot of what I have.
They'll never be half the man you are, so don't worry about it. Okay, well, best of luck of bringing the new faith in the new lands, and I hope that you can survive long enough with enough of a base tax to fund such colonies. I know it's not a cheap venture.
If you just have a second, Austria here, I would like to thank everybody who's helped fight the Ottomans in our glorious crusade.
And it has been everyone.
Yes, why did you bring me into this again? Varna was not enough, you needed more Bohemian blood.
Okay, perhaps we'll get more in from the two of you on the next banter session, but if that's all we got time for, that's all we got time for. Cheers, folks, for bringing the carnage. It has been perhaps not the most expected of sessions, but oh, hey, I'm on now. It's not been the most expected of sessions, but damn was the fight brought, and we look forward to the conclusions in the next session. So until next week, cheers from here in the two-man studio, and cheerio.